Pedophilia, an issue that dwells deep within society's darkest crevices, elicits strong reactions among many. While there is no arguing regarding the horrendous nature of the actions undertaken by pedophiles, it's important to navigate the dark nature of their motivations and causes to address the issue, as I also believe they are victims by circumstance. Before I continue, I'll mention this again at the end of the video essay, but for those who recognize these tendencies within themselves, please seek help. Trained therapists and counselors can provide an environment to understand your underlying issues. Pedophilia, child pornography, and trafficking is a pandemic that needs to be eradicated, and it's an issue that warrants our collective effort. Now, let's begin. I would like to share my hypothesis on how pedophilia manifests in society. Allow me to tabulate the context and circumstances that continue to breed pedophiles and other types of sexual predators, something I feel that has become more prevalent. For disclosure, I'm not quoting any scientific studies on the topic. I like to focus on narratives based on patterns that I've observed. Number 1, hypersexualization of culture. We are in an era of hypersexualization. Everything from media, advertising to entertainment evokes sexuality to the highest degree. More and more children are emulating sexualized adults at a younger age, thanks to mass market consumerism. Our consumer culture, bred from marketing insecurity, can distort our perception of innocence and age, making children susceptible targets. I still know of men who objectify teenage girls when they walk by despite being in their 30s. We have not taught men to avert and respect their gaze and attention, as our culture indirectly bolsters voyeurism, regardless of the content type, whether it's social media, reality TV shows, or pornography. Voyeurism is the new normal, fueled by hypersexuality. Number 2, lightspeed porn action. The internet has made pornography alarmingly accessible, one app away from so-called pleasure. In some ways, porn is almost inescapable, almost like the black hole of the internet. As viewers get desensitized by the routine pornographic content choices, they begin to crave more extreme and taboo content, leading some down the treacherous path of child pornography. The gravity of the black hole increases as one treads near and close to the center. The brain is officially hijacked by the dark forces of our society, seeking more and more stimulation before it manifests into pedophilia. How? A man may have a proclivity towards teen pornography. Although these videos are not realistic, it's priming a porn addict's psyche to desire younger and younger looking porn actresses, and eventually they spiral downwards towards child pornography. Not everyone will go down this rabbit hole, but the risk remains ever present. Side note, I thank God every day I did not go down this path. I was never into teen porn. I found it strange. I was always the MILF porn guy. I had many erotic fantasies with my hot neighbor who was in her 50s. I have no shame about it. I told you, I'm simple that way. In some ways, we may have to thank the hot MILF porn, which is the most popular porn in North America. A paradoxical, funny thought. Moving on. Number 3, the media's obsession with minors. The media cycle nowadays frequently features stories involving sex offenders with minors. As media companies are strapped for cash, they have a deep need for advertising dollars, and engagement rates go up with these stories. Nothing like pedophile stories to drive revenue. Let's not forget, high-profile cases like that of Jeffrey Epstein, which only galvanize our attention towards these topics, sometimes indirectly normalizing such heinous acts in the minds of susceptible individuals. Most importantly, many sexual deviants are secretly narcissistic. While they hide in the shadows, their need for attention grows like a parasite, slowly taking over their psyche and beginning to desire all the attention. Any news is good news for them. Number 4, histories of abuse. Unfortunately, pedophiles are also victims. Many pedophiles end up revealing histories marred with bullying, broken homes, and sexual abuse. If a child experiences trauma by their trusted close guardians during their formative years, such trauma may inadvertently sow the seeds of future perpetration. I can somewhat relate, as my addiction to porn started from feeling alone and not being able to control my circumstances. Often abused individuals need a type of control that they did not experience due to adverse childhood events, and as a result, can sometimes project and externalize their need for control by exploiting children. I want to be absolutely clear. I'm not justifying the actions of pedophiles, but I'm tempted to see the human side of the equation in order to help other perpetrators before it's too late for them. Number 5. Early exposure to sexuality. Exposure to explicit content at a young age can sometimes create inappropriate associations between childhood and sexuality. These premature encounters can potentially develop unhealthy sexual deviant attachment styles in adulthood, including, in extreme cases, an unlawful attraction to minors. Experiencing such content during childhood might imprint a connection between youth and sexual experiences. As the individual grows and begins to explore their sexuality, their association might lead to an unhealthy curiosity and draw someone towards child pornography as a way to assuage their trauma. Number 6. A distorted sense of altruism. The recent upsurge in events like transgender storytime drag has sparked a much-needed debate. While I try to stay out of the gender debate, I question the intention of these acts as a whole. I'm not against transgender individuals reading to children, it's the overly sexualized manner in which they present themselves to children. Just wear normal clothing, you don't need to look like a Las Vegas performer. These settings, while many think are harmless, may inadvertently groom kids into linking pretentiously outward sexuality and arguably deviancy as being normal. The path to hell is paved by good intentions, of course. The aforementioned factors contribute to grooming pedophiles and other sexual predators in modern society. Pornography seems to be the catalyst, however, amplifying the hunger and drive for these maladaptive behaviors, the so-called fuel to the fire that was already burning. As users further saturate themselves with pornographic content, boundaries of taboo begin to blur. This constant need for heightened sensory stimulation can lead some individuals down the sinister path of pedophilic tendencies, seeking the taboo of the taboo. If anything about the Jeffrey Epstein case is true, more pedophiles and child traffickers than ever before are prevalent, a travesty to our modern society and the sacred contract we hold dear with children to protect their kindred spirits. This is what happens when consumer capitalism begins to erode the values of the fabric of our society. Postmodern nihilistic bullshit is the other war we need to fight against. We must, however, tread carefully when placing blame. While these individuals are undoubtedly responsible for their actions, there's also a need to understand the slew of influences at work. Many such individuals might have been shaped, albeit perversely, by a combination of societal pressures, personal histories, and some factors completely out of their control. Once again, for those who recognize these deviant tendencies within themselves, it is a plea, not a condemnation. I beg of you, please seek help. Trained therapists and counselors can provide a safe environment to explore yourself and the underpinnings of your struggle. We need to work together and battle pedophilia at all fronts. And my last message to the many pedophiles who have already tragically committed these crimes and hurt children: turn yourself in. You're an adult. Face your shame. Proceed with healing. Begin your journey to find yourself back to the path of redemption and reclamation. You may have to do that in a prison cell, nursing your broken face and guarding your sphincter, but it might be the freedom you're looking for. Yes, you may hurt your loved ones, people will abandon you, and you may lose your entire life in the process, but at least you'll never hurt a child again. The loss of innocence of the kindred spirit in a child is the greatest crime against humanity. Karma has a way of correcting things, so it will eventually catch up to you. Take control. Think about it. Thank you for your time. I am God's orphan. This is my real voice with a pitch shifter. I'm a man who overcame porn addiction by a deep exploration of my psyche. These are my ruminations, years in the making. I delved into science, religion, spirituality, philosophy, psychology, mysticism, psychedelics, and other esoteric occult traditions as a means to transcend my addiction. I broke free, and now it's my turn to help you. Welcome to the Resistance. Join us by subscribing for more content on overcoming porn addiction. There's no shame in a good fight. I'm merely an ally, but you're the hero. Continue your struggle. Pain is freedom. Fight on. This is God's Orphan, signing off.